What's going on, traders? Hope everybody had a great day. It is Tuesday, August 8th, and we'll be doing an analysis of the S&P 500, the SPDR ETF. Of course, this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only, and in no way is financial advice. We're going to start off with the macro as always, and markets were down today despite a nice rally in the later morning into the close. Markets were still red, as I mentioned, down about just under $2, $1.96, and we closed red about 0.43%. Final print coming in at 448.75. And here on the daily, we've been talking about this demand zone here that we have been watching. How the buyers would react, and we are seeing a bit of a pushback. We did gap down today, and the bulls did attempt to fill that gap, but we still closed back under the daily 20 and the 9 sitting at 450.89, and the 20 EMA sitting at 449.85. So we'll be watching to see again how price reacts if we do come up to any of those levels. We do have CPI on Thursday, so that's released at 8:30. So we could see some hesitation coming into that, and right now just potentially pinned under these moving averages until that comes out. So we'll have to look to see how the markets react to the print, and we'll have a little bit better idea, I think, once the week actually ends and we see what this weekly candle looks like, and see if on the daily at least we can start to close back over this short-term momentum and really start to create a new uptrend. We got real close today to that 444 within $1's reach. Didn't quite get there, but the month is not over, and we'll have to see what happens. So let's take a quick look at some of our other bigger picture charts. Daily our trends here. We're still just kind of stuck, and you can see here we have recaptured this bullish pivot that we were watching around that 447.50 area. So that is a good sign. They're recapturing that, but we are still just pinging here right on this trend line, and you can see the moving average is just above. So we could stay pinned kind of in this general zone for a little bit longer. Usually, we're talking about the seasonality trade as far as a pullback in August, and that also goes not so much the pullback, but September as well can have some trickier price action. So that's just something to be aware of. And when we come into September, the old adages, sell in Rosh Hashanah, buy in Yom Kippur, things like that come into play. So it will be interesting to see what next month looks like as well. But we still have a lot of August left, so we'll see what happens. But I'm not going to zoom out here. This trend line that we have been watching. This was that major pivot that I originally tried to short, and we have closed below it. I got stopped out of that short, obviously, but we have closed below it again, and we're just right on it. So we'll have to see if we actually can start to get some closes over this trend line, maybe start to build a base for potentially maybe we start to form a bigger picture kind of rounded bottom, right? A kind of a U shape here, and then we start to make our way back up. But if we stay under, we'll still be looking to those downside targets again. And obviously I've been yelling about that 444 for a while, and we'll see if we get it. We also have this daily gap here, which pretty much starts at 444.87.95. Let's see what the low of this candle is. It's 444.91, and the gap would be filled at the top of this candle from July, which is the highs 443, we'll call it. It's 442.97. So we want to watch out for that as well. And you know what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to just mark that daily gap off on, well, actually no, I'm not going to put it on this chart. Let's put it on the one we were just looking at. So we can pay attention to see if we get into that gap. I'll be surprised. You know, all gaps usually get filled at some point at another. So whether we do it this month or next, that will remain to be seen. But maybe we don't. Maybe we just make a U here. Maybe do a cup and handle. I don't know. That's all speculation, obviously. But as of right now, I mean, we really didn't make a new high. We pretty much just topped out right at this area. We didn't. Did we hit? No, we didn't really get close to that 450, and I'm going to be watching that area tomorrow. But we did create a new low. So, you know, just kind of in a rock and a hard place right now on the markets. Yeah, so let's go into our some areas tomorrow where we might find some actionable setups, some areas where we might want to engage the market, manage our risk. Let's come into, why don't we take a peek at the day trading fibs. I haven't looked at those here in a minute, and still this candle is driving me crazy. You know, the one thing I see here, you know, we did make it over the 23.6. That's all well and good. We'll see if this holds in the overnight session. You know, but as I was talking about earlier, you know, we have a high here, and here's the high, and so we still have lower highs, you know, coming in. So nothing really has changed overall as far as the downtrend is concerned. Now, yeah, we put in a local low today, right around that 445 area, but bulls still have some work to do. And tomorrow, you know, we've talked about that 450 in our previous videos, and so I'm going to be really watching that for some extra confirmation for the longs. But first step is going to be, you know, we'll see about this 448. You know, that's going to be the immediate support here. And yeah, on the 30-minute, we do have some confluence with the 20, but you know, that's going to change. The main area I'm going to be watching though for the bulls to be able to support tomorrow is 447, and then also the 446.23, and that's where we changed the market structure today. We had a bit of a inverted head and shoulders forming after we had sold off in the morning, and you can see here we tagged that area a bunch of times, and then once we finally broke over, we changed the character and we ran for the rest of the day. And so I'll be watching those two levels to really see if those hold on, to maintain at least somewhat of a short-term bullish bias. However, we have that 450, and it's pretty much lining up with the volume point of control right here on the 5-day 30-minute. So that 450, as you know, we've been over, like I said, that's been a major pivot for us, of course, as well as a psychological key number. So we'll have to see if that gets over, and let's go into our balance and our trends here, and take a look at what happened today. We came right into the bottom quadrant of this previous balance zone here, right around 445.50 to that 445 area. That's pretty much where that bottom was, and then here's that 426.32 area, 23 area. I'm gonna call it 25 just for, because I like the whole numbers, or you know, the even numbers more, but that just general zone, you could call it 20 to 25 if you'd like, and that also lines up here with I believe this was Friday, one of Friday's lows as well. So be watching that area, but The 447, as I mentioned, that's going to be the top part of this balance that needs to be defended for our shot to come up, and where we are now, hanging out in the lower quadrant of this next balance zone, right around 448.50 to 449. You see we peaked above and couldn't get over. Right now we're just consolidating right in this new balance area. So we could still dip down potentially to this area here in the 447.50, 447, but where I might consider some longs as long as this holds. But if I got stopped out, maybe I would try another entry down here by these value area lows and this key pivot. We start getting back under 446, 446.20, 3 area. We'd be looking a little bit more bearish again, and yeah, the risk to reward there for a short really isn't something that's really too entertaining for me, because 445 is so close, but you could potentially get a trade there. And certainly if we break under that 445, watch out below, and probably going to end up hitting that 444 finally, and then coming into the top of this next balance range, which would lead us into basically 443, 60, 50 area, and then 443, about 50 cents there. Start getting under that, and we're going to look down to 442. So let's see if this area can hold for our longs, and if they can, we'll look for some more possible upside tomorrow. If you're looking for that extra confirmation, let's see about some closes over 450, and then we have a chance to touch the top part of this range here, close to 451, and then 451.40, we'll call it. Value area high is here as well, so I'll call it a 451 all the way to 455, to see if they can get over that. And then we're going to be coming back into the big area where we saw a massive sell last week, into that 442, the 452 50s 75 area. So that's going to be very interesting to see how the markets react if we do get into that area. So yeah, that's pretty much it. A lot of the same levels that we've been trading in here. So just be careful tomorrow, coming closer to CPI, and let's see what we get in the markets. All right, that's all I got. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to go over. I think that's all I got. All right, trade safe, trade smart, follow your plan.